Well, if it is going to be the Lukey Magnus, I think that Dragon Knight is going to
Gonna
be
be Ray.
going to be a solid option in the middle lane. It's tanky, and I think we saw this exact matchup before the last time the DK got picked up. Your Queen of Pain doesn't really get to go for the Shadow Strike build. It doesn't good against the tankiness and regen that the Dragon Knight has, so Queen of Pain will focus instead on the Scream build, which, to be honest, that's a benefit for the Dragon Knight. It might not be as helpful for the rest of the DogChamp lineup, because if your Queen of Pain is not focusing on the win your lane build, that means she's going to be in a better position for that sort of Sonic Wave ganking into the side lanes sort of style. And now the Timbersaw.
But there's the problem. I think they just pick it up a little bit too early here, and it's the advantage that they need to work just a little bit harder on DogChamp's side. If they pick B9's hero here, at least Lava are shooting in the dark a little bit with their next two picks, but I definitely feel like this DK might be a little bit rushed here. And okay, that's going to be Cat use, or not Cat you, Moo's hero. And I thought right as soon as the Timbersaw was on the board, immediately they could have gone for, I was going to say the Ember Spirit, but they banned it out themselves. But Tusk is going to fit in really nicely here. And the issue is, I feel like even though Shadow Demon is amazing and we could praise it as much as we want, once it gets kind of its feet off the ground here and a few items under its belt, I almost wish that it was a Skywrath Mage now to combo with the DK. And okay, really shifting things around now. DogChamp have a whole bunch of heroes that can go in a whole bunch of different places, but we are seeing OD almost resurrected here.
Yeah, you know what? I was trying to think it through in my head. I'm not even going to take a shot at guessing those positions. We'll just wait and see, because, like you said, lots of different heroes that can go to different places. So now if you're Lava, well, it doesn't really change too much. You still really are locked into the same lanes that you were before. Still looking now for your Kataro hero, but it's going to have to be one that can maybe play around the fact that the OD is going to be there to kind of take you out of your rhythm a little bit in these team fights with the imprisonment.
Yeah, and I'm really scratching my brain now, trying to think, okay, well, it's Stonebank, right? PL is already banned. Are you going to need to be worried about his Wraith King? No, we have a Timbersaw. What real, like, agi hero is he going to want to play here? Because you're not going to want to play, I want to say, Chaos Knight into the Timbersaw either, even though those are the two best heroes. I'm really concerned now, because, yeah, the position is definitely a problem. And, okay, they're saying that I guess they need a Yarn hero, assuming that Bloody Nine is going to be the one to be put on the Shadow Demon, perhaps. But uh, something feels not right. Something definitely feels very wrong on DogChamp's side. It's very weird seeing all of the cores picked up. It's been a real long time since I've seen what could be a last overall pick support pickup here, especially for your +4 if that's the case. But honestly, if that's how things are going to go, would absolutely love to see them pick the Skywrath Mage up, maybe turn around and go for it. Doesn't have too much synergy with the OD per se, but you still have that combo with the Dragon Tail, and I do still think that they need some more of that burst damage, because OD, of course, have the Sandy's Eclipse. You do have the Meteor Hammer combo, but it still might come out maybe a breath too late, and they pick it up for sure here to counter out that Timbersaw, right? They want to counter it, have a little bit of pure damage to play with, maybe tempt fate, but I'm still just really wondering how this DK is now going to go, because, well, they split the bans a little bit on Lava's side. What do DogChamp really need here? Because they're not going to put the DK, let's say, as a 5, and that's a brutal pickup right there. That's a TA that doesn't mind laning anywhere versus any of the offlaners that DogChamp could propose in front of him.
Are a little bit matchup proof perhaps with that TA pickup. And, well, we knew Lava was going to sort of draft itself into a strong position at this point, but now the real question mark is, what are DogChamp doing with this final selection? They don't have much time to think it over. 2 seconds on the clock in terms of reserve time, so they've got to really go now. It's going to be... doesn't actually give us much clarity either, as they take the Monkey King for themselves.
I was going to say, are they just going to put Bloody Nine on the DK, perhaps? Is that how this is going to go? It could very well be the Magnus. It's been a very long time. And of course, I kind of brought it up at the beginning of the patch. Maybe we see the return to some more melee 5s. Of course, melee 5s mainly being that Ogre over on the other side. But no, he's actually going to take the Magnus, and it's going to be a Lukey DK. I'm just worried about how much instant damage they have. The damage is going to be slow. They at the very least have 2 cores that can take advantage of that Empower, but I feel like Frank, if he's able to move past this monkey lane, he's got a really strong position versus the rest of the heroes here. I think the last two, the Odie and the monkey, they really are trying to counter out this Timbersaw as hard as they can. But again, we're gonna need some stellar individual performances from DogChamp. They can't really rely on each other in this game. As soon as one of their players starts to fall behind, I feel like they can't even make room to try and help them. They just need to continuously focus on their own play because without it, they just might just get run over here. At the very least, hey, you got Ray on his OD, but I'm still very concerned here.
Yeah, and as you said, you're not going to see a crazy amount of sort of support if you start falling behind. Of course, there is something to be said. Putting B9 on that mag means that he can basically just, at a certain point, turn into an empower machine for the Monkey King and the DK. So you're going to have maybe a little bit more of a buff up there than you would if you had that mag in a core position. But the downside of that is Bloody 9 as now a team fight controller. The RP will still be there, but you won't have the items to really give him that extra range of initiation. So the RP is still something I think Lava have to respect, but I don't think they really need to be afraid of it all that often.
Yeah, and as we talked about with the DK, and we talked about it before, need to be so clean with your Elder Dragon form usages, need to get something in return. I remember back when DK was just straight up a better hero, maybe a little bit, you use that Elder Dragon farm in the same vein as the Death Prophet's Exorcism, but man, oh man, I'm missing the DP right now. I really feel like maybe DogChamp could have stretched out thin and gone for something like that, because a silence would have also felt great in this game, and unfortunately for them, there's no silence that Leo Style needs to really be worried about. He can go pretty much whatever item he wants and not be too hard pressed for lockdown. And at the same time, Luki's got to have a pretty great game on this DK because not only is he the only one to help with this building damage until that Meteor Hammer is done on the OD, if he even goes for it, he's really all of the catch, and his Blake Dagger timing is going to be critical for them.
Yeah, that's just going to be so concerning, is that your Dragon Knight now has to be the one that you rely on, and he can't really reliably initiate until he has an item himself. So it'll be a little bit strange. It looks like Ray is going to be going for that Meteor Hammer, though. Started off with the Crown, and he's got the Meteor Hammer queued up. So we haven't seen the OD in a hot minute, but it looks like it is still the usual build. That is a very bad time for a pause. Stonebank just walked up the ramp into Catyu, and they're going to pause the game as the Templar Assassin sort of dropped out here. But I don't know if this is punishable. Frank and Kim are kind of far from this one, so your Monkey King can just walk away unless Catyu's willing to put the first point up in the Fire Blast. Then maybe that gets them the lockdown for long enough to get the other two heroes in.
It's definitely a little bit awkward here, but unless Frank is willing to cast like five or six Timber Chains, I feel like he should just be able to walk out here. Just an awkward moment though, for certain. But at the same time, wards placed already. Some nice wards placed by DogChamp. I wonder if this bottom cliff is going to get dewarded instantly, as we've seen so many times since 731. Just teams focusing on it, but okay. A little bit hectic.
Does mean that the shards are out at level 1 for Kim instead of any sort of tag team play. But it was worth a try. You kept Stonebank locked in there, but like you said, it really came down to the Timbersaw. Frank didn't want to spend that much mana for a kill that they may not have gotten, so everything's going to settle down here. Although, as I say that, Frank needs to be kind of careful. There's a trio of heroes nearby, and yeah, he's going to give up on taking that.
Okay, 3 runes. Not a bad start.
Let's just kind of hanging out in between, saying hi to Stonebank. This is a situation where Stonebank... Oh, never mind. I was going to say, you might be giving up Jingu, but Stonebank actually went for the Boundless at level 1, so does not have the Jingu Mastery to work with. The Boundless Strike now comes out. Catyu really doesn't care. I mean, we always talk about the Ogre being tanky. He's just now going to start on the Tangos. He's got another stack of them coming out to him. So you can sit there and you can suck up a lot of that damage, whereas Stonebank on the other side really can't afford to. And this is actually something just now noticing. They have swapped up the lanes. This is Leo style in the off lane on the Queen of Pain. So they send the Timbersaw down bot and they send the Templar Assassin mid.
Yeah, and well, unfortunately, they got the exact laning setup that they wanted to. They get the Timbersaw versus the DK, and without any direct movement from DogChamp, it looks like they're just going to sit here. But that was also incredibly smart from Leosaw. I was paying attention early on to his inventory. He only had a ward and one set of tangos, and he waited to see which type of items he was going to need to buy, and then, well, just decides to go for this instead, knowing that, hey, it's going to be an OD mid. We saw that he had the crown and tangos. It's not like he can move anywhere else, so this is going to be really free, and I think this is perfect from them. This is the exact lane set they want. Cat, you did get skewered, though, and it looks like he's dead.
Yeah, they're going to be able to take him down. Tower shot's certainly helping out, but Cat, you not showing enough respect to the mag there. That skewer play is really the only thing Blady9 can do right now, and you are normally pretty tanky on an Ogre, but if you're going to take 5 to 6 tower shots, then it doesn't really matter how much health you have.
No, not really, but at the same time, see if that actually gets felt. They need to snowball the lane way harder to deal with the Queen of Pain, though. And Stonebank, I feel like as soon as Leosaw hits level 3, might just get 2 points up in the Shadow Strike, and then, well, you can't really ever walk forward here. And, well, he might get Jingu, but he also might not, and needs to be very careful. But is that a solo kill mid? No, there was the Tusk Shards, but still, that's just Katara whittling him down with the side blades. I feel like that kill shouldn't happen 9 times out of 10, but just got a little bit low and greeting out for the Ring of Health. Didn't send himself out enough regen.
Nice play from Kim, making the early rotation. Exactly what we sort of expect to see from the Tusk in this role. And he's actually looking for a little bit more, because Yarn's going to get now caught inside of those shards. Frank, though, he doesn't really have much damage with this build. 1 point up in Timber Chain, so Timber Chain's forward. Get the damage on. Might as well push Yarn away a little bit, but not going to be much more. Question for Yarn is, yeah, what kind of impact can he have for the rest of the team? You see him going for the double stack here, and pretty sure he got the timing down. Yes, he did. So create the stacks, try and get some more farm for your cores. Unfortunately, he can't protect that courier. Lisa will lose it, but that is going to be important for DogChamp. They need to just basically constantly be setting themselves up to farm throughout every stage of the game here, considering the cores that they've picked up.
Ooh, and
Fine. Meanwhile, top. No turn. Okay, do they have enough damage to follow this up, though? Catyu gets the stun onto the monkey, and Bloody9 never had the angle for the skewer back. He will get it now onto Catyu, but that's not really the hero that they want.
no, and this is a nice play from DogChamp. They're just playing up on the creep wave, knowing that with the surplus coming in, Leosaw kind of just has to take it either under tower or needs to forfeit the trade completely. But still, Leosaw has just been able to farm up relatively easily. Hasn't really skipped a beat, but that's also where Stonebank has had a relatively simple game as well. With the Ogre just always giving him Jingu, it's pretty hard to ever just force him out. Not to mention Leostyle does finally get the 2nd point up in the Shadow Strike, but had to reactively skill the blink just not to die.
While mid, Kim tried to get in for another rotation. Lisa able to buy time, though, with the Astral, and Bloody9 even comes in to help him out. So, a lot of movement from this Tusk, feeling fairly confident considering they have the Timbersaw in the safe lane. They're not going to be able to force him out there, so Kim really just barely ever has to come back to bot.
Yeah, and that's also where he can afford to make these rotations, in addition to the fact that DogChamp really can't. Displacing Yarn doesn't really help them out in any meaningful way. It's where staying bottom, getting the pulls, going for a loopy-loopy. But yeah.
Didn't know that Kim was here until it's too late. Quick TP top. Yeah. Kim, yeah, really getting mobile. He's going to find his 2nd kill of the game, and Style tipping his teammate there. And DogChamp, you've just got to be aware of this. The Tusk is basically just 100% roaming at all times.
Yeah, and he doesn't even have a point in the tag team. He just has both of his spells instead, just being very obnoxious with his rotations, but it's kind of crazy seeing a Tusk with that tag team really up until level 3. I imagine he's going to go back for it then, but it still feels like he's having a pretty nice run of things. And with how bottom is being won by just the Timbersaw getting solo levels, not only are you winning by giving him solo levels, you're allowed to do this. And yeah, Yarn has to come. They need some kind of revenge, but without this lockdown, what is Yarn actually going to be able to do here except for maybe throw out some poisons? It might just die instantly.
Only downside is that Leosaw doesn't have a lot of mana. He would have to pop the stick if he wants to keep going. He will do so, though. I believe they're going to be able to take Yarn down. Catyu may be sacrificed in exchange at this point. Maybe not. Blade 9 doesn't quite have the damage. Okay, eventually the kill will come through as Leo Style was able to blink himself out from the skewer, which means Kim's the only one caught in it, and he was high enough on health where they couldn't really go any further. But while that does turn into a 1-for-1 trade on the supports, you forced Yaren to now TP up here, and is going to potentially leave some of the other lanes a little bit weaker. And you can see Luki, he's just committing to really not playing the lane against the Timbersaw, just farming up in between towers.
Yeah, and he's even just trying to drag the creep wave. I wonder where this is actually going to end up. Of course, he can do this. He has 15 armor. He's got 14 HP regen. He's going to be fine, but it's back top. It's just this trio. There's nothing you could do versus them. B9's going to go down in a sec here as well. Even blinks just in case, but it's where you would have hoped that DogChamp have enough heroes to maybe make a rotation on Kataro, who doesn't have any support. He's really on his lonesome, but instead they're just continuously fighting into lava, and I think we need to see a shift pretty soon here in DogChamp. And even Kataro, look at him, he's underneath the tower, and yeah, they're rotating everyone, bringing the monkey even.
Full TP's coming in. Kataro may have gone a bit too far here. His own backup is coming in the form of Katyu, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. No, it is not. Kataro's going to get punished, and maybe should have known a little bit better on that one than to dive Ray Lisa, especially in that position. You're not going to get the kill onto the OD there. You really don't have any lockdown, so Kataro may be feeling slightly overconfident. He will be punished, but that did drag everyone from DogChamp into that lane.
Yeah, kind of forced everyone to go somewhere else. And Luki is still working on this creep wave down bottom, and it would be really sad if he dies right now and gets none of these creeps. That would be a tragedy, but I think he might be able to walk away. But with how many creeps, I mean, they really can't deal with this. There's no reason for them not to play underneath the tower. The tower is the one trying to call him out, but this is really ugly, and well, Yaren's going to be the new focus.
Frank is just really pushing himself forward. Reactive armor is keeping him in the middle of this fight as he's going to throw the shock from out. Yaren gets his salve canceled, but Luki is very low, and Kim, look at him. He's waiting to see if there's an opening. Snowball's not up for 5, but DK got just that little bit lower. He might have wanted to go back in, although at this point, Frank, he might just get it himself. Luki's got to be so unbelievably careful because Kim is looking to rejoin. Shards come out, but there's going to be the Dragon Breath first. The magic damage finally breaks through your Timbersaw, and what a dance underneath the tier 1, but it's one that DogChamp will eventually win.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Luki didn't get many of those last hits, but he was there for all of the XP as well as Yaren, and now Yaren, level 5, 9 minutes into the game, he's sitting nice and pretty. He's got a lot of levels. He's going to work on the stacks a little bit more here, but it does feel like Lava are maybe diving a little bit too hard against their opponents, even though they're very aware of the lead that they possess.
Starbank sees an opening. He's going to get the boundless onto Kim. There's the Meteor Hammer being channeled out as well onto Katyu, so this Ogre's not getting out. Kim's going to try to delay the death, though. He's actually snowballing up to the high ground where Bloody 9 got the skewer play off, but he should pay for it as Leo Style jumps in as well. Throws down the Sonic Wave. That's enough to take down Ray Lisa. And now Stonebank, he's got to try and TP out. Is there any cancel? No. He's at least going to be able to escape, but his teammate not so fortunate. Yaren gets taken down, and well, that was looking like a decent fight at the start, right? You have the two supports caught out in the river, but Snowball really just makes all the difference. It buys the time, and DogChamp really just can't seem to catch a break here early on.
No, they're really stuck waiting now, and they do have the Meteor Hammer. That's something to look forward to, and that's where this is nice. Need a little bit more here. This is where they would love to bring the Monkey King again, but using his TP already, I think the rotation might be a little bit too late here from Yaren. Yeah. Without level 6, they don't get that kill regardless, but that's the kind of play they want to make. They want to get the OD in the face of the Timbersaw, I think, a little bit more here, especially before Frank gets one of his tanky items done.
Seeing two heroes go bot means Kitaro's going to feel a little confident to try and push mid. The Glyph, though, will slow that push down, but now they're just going to try and track down the kills. Yaren hit up by the slow from the Shadow Strike. They'll finish him off. Katyu is in a bit of a bad way, but here comes the damage. Luki really doesn't want to stick around for much longer. Doesn't have a choice, though. He can't get himself out. That Shadow Strike slow coming into play once again. B9 tries to get out with the skewer, but Leo Style's just going to blink directly onto him, holding the screen to get the kill. And once again, they just can't seem to mount a response for DogChamp. Another teamfight loss. The tier 1 tower will get taken down. Meanwhile, Ray Lisa trying to do a little bit too much there. His ult isn't even enough to take down Frank, and well, you can't really afford to do that, right? That's throwing good money after bad money. You lost the first fight. It's probably just time to cut your losses, because even if Ray Lisa does get that kill with the Sanity's Eclipse, you are still dying no matter what.
No, you're certainly traded out there. It just sucks that they're not able to get, I want to say, this Meteor Hammer setup play and then Stone Bank on top of them, but that's also where the Monkey King's damage isn't really coming through in the same way that I think the rest of Lava's lineup kind of has been. And okay, Leo's getting a little bit greedy here, messing with the stacks of DogChamp. They're definitely going to look for a little bit of revenge, but that's also where the high ground ward placed just barely before DogChamp's, and unfortunately the sentry not within range. It's kind of funny to watch them just dance around each other, but Yaren, well, he's certainly dead.
Well, this really sucks for Yarn. We were talking him up a little bit. You know, he was sitting at level 5 at a pretty solid time, and we're thinking, okay, maybe this will be like the previous Yarn Shadow Demon game, where he really showed us the strength of that hero, but what is this, 2 or 3 deaths now have sort of stalled that progress. He has not gotten to level 6 yet since that point, so unfortunately, even the sort of lone bright spot that we were looking at is now not really as impressive, and they might lose even more. Luki's going to get hit up. That's a nice Astral, though, to try and save him, but they're still going to have to get him out of those shards. Yeah, that's going to block off the escape route. Ray Lisa will try to channel out the Meteor Hammer. It doesn't really hit anyone, and Luki will still fall. The Sonic Wave, though, hits onto the other 2 heroes. Ray Lisa has to try and fall back, but they're not going to let him go. Your OD goes down. And it looks like B9 may be falling as well. Leo Style blinks forward, gets the kill. Now they can turn all of their attention onto Yaren, and it is another absolute slaughter with no consequences. Kim faking out his own Walrus Punch 3 or 4 times. Because he can afford to. He doesn't really need to throw that out immediately, and I don't know how much longer this can go on for ET before DogChamp really just get run out of the building.
Yeah, it's just simply they put a hero under, they put another hero under, but it doesn't change the position at all that they're in. And I think that's where this DK pick to try and lane up versus the Queen of Pain, they should have looked for maybe the lane setup a little bit harder here and then moved right out. I think they've just gotten absolutely what they want on the Lava side, and I keep on seeing these supports, these cores with so low HP, and it's just never being finished off by DogChamp. I think that's where we're still waiting for this Blink Dagger on Luki. Once we have it, maybe we can start to look up here, but because of this Timbersaw, Frank has mirrored him across the map. We haven't seen any push onto any of these tier 1s just yet, and because of that, I think that's where the struggle really starts to come in here. You're looking for so much gold on these heroes that don't really have anywhere to farm it, and these towers would make your life so much easier if you could just simply walk up to them. It's just where Lava are doing way too good of a job of denying you access onto these pushing routes, and I mean, even now, they're starting to lose their jungle with how confident Lava are playing with this lead.
As they get eyes on that Ancient stack, the 2 supports can't really take it away, but got a Templar Assassin with the Deso. All Taro has to do is just head over, and that sort of painstakingly stacked camp is going to be taken out from under them, and DogChamp aren't in a position to even defend this, right? They've got a hero mid, but the rest of the lineup is hanging out in the north side, so they're just getting sort of maneuvered around by their opponents, forced to respond to the moves Lava are making instead of the other way around, and now they're going to make the jump in. Ray Lisa's going to get hit up, but it's just the 2 supports. The damage isn't really here yet, but, well, Frank, he managed to find a pickup. He's coming in on the back line. The Sanity's Eclipse will be there for the kill on the Kim. They would much rather get Taro and take that Aegis out of the fight, and they were able to do so. The problem is, well, can they really go a second round against the Templar Assassin? We shall see. Kataro holding his ground. Frank Timber chaining in for the backup. Leo South comes in with Sonic, and Stonebank and Luki will both be finished off. And at this point, it is going to be another just sort of straight-up loss. At least they get the Aegis and a kill onto the Tusk, but multiple heroes and multiple cores falling once again.
Yeah, and it's really difficult because, hey, they're finding their moment, they're finding their really only play onto Frank, which is just the OD trying to zone him out with the orb, but it's where the damage just comes through a little bit too quickly, and the Monkey King, unfortunately, has no advantage in this matchup. They didn't even get the Monkey versus Timbersaw lane. I think that's where DogChamp really perhaps made a huge misstep in this game, because we've seen what the Monkey versus Timbersaw matchup can be, especially when you're playing up to snuff, and I think that's where they really dodged a bullet on Lava's side. And again, okay, this is hopeful. just need a few more heroes here and maybe we get a kill, but they're just a little bit too far from each other. They're coming, they're rotating towards the bottom lane, and it's just without that connection. Lava are just playing in all 3 lanes all the time at the same time. And even if they weren't, Kataro's just in the jungle constantly building up towards his next items. He's got a blink dagger, so all of your supports got to be so careful now. If you're DogChamp, you could just easily die, and then you don't have anything left to give in these fights.
It's just so rough for them to really get anything, and now they might be in more trouble. Bloody Nine's gonna get caught. That's a weird interaction. He was walrus punched while skewering, so Kim does still get pulled back, which means Stonebank is gonna be able to find a kill, but now he might pay for it. Leo Style wants in. Yarn, though, good disruption, sort of breaking that up, but Stonebank is still in trouble. He's gonna get stunned up, slowed now by the Shadow Strike. Leo Style trying to dish out the damage. Doesn't have Sonic Wave for 20 seconds, so they won't just be able to end the fight now. But he's just gonna back off, blink in, get the kill, sacrificed his support there, but Stonebank will fall. Leo Style's got to be careful, though. Yeah, those poison stacks. That's got to dodge that out a little bit more, but I mean, that's not terrible if you're DogChamp. You need gold, you get gold. They get basically double what their opponents brought in there, and is he really? No. Okay, Bloody Nine, he is probably going to die. That's maybe trying to do a little bit too much.
Beyond Godlike for your Queen of Pain. During all that as well, Katara was actually 1v2ing Luki and Ray, and unfortunately just not able to make anything happen. And oh no, he saw the Astral used.
That's gonna hit.
Stay down.
Doesn't matter how far away you get, you can't disjoint that projectile with the Force Staff, so... Oh, man. Yeah, the second he sees that the Astral's used, Kataro's just all in on it. He knows there's no way you can stop the damage now coming out. And... well, if you're DogChamp now, just wait it out, see what happens when the OD gets back in, but they've given up 25 kills in 18 minutes. This is just so incredibly hard for them to come back from, but they are going to be able to make a move. Kim is waiting a little bit too long there in the tree line, didn't realize he was scouted out, and DogChamp finally get a kill where I think they're just going to get away scot-free on this one. They find the kill, and no one was in any danger on their side.
Yeah, and what I would really love from them right now would be to see them immediately smoke up, look for another play with the Luki Blink Dagger, and that's what they're going to look for. They do not want Catyu. They might take Catyu, but they would love to get anyone else, and this is a little bit awkward. The cores are still very hesitant to commit here, but Stonebank will say, guys, I'm going to kill him. It's going to be fine. But you're losing your tier 2 top. How Kataro gets out of here, honestly, I would love if they look in deeper, assume that maybe he TPs away, but I think if they go on the wave, they might just be a little bit too late here. And yeah, I think they should have gone back towards mid or the jungle. And maybe coincidentally, they could find a Leo style, but I don't think they're going to hit. And look at Kataro. He's even just hugging his tower because no hero has shown for another 30, 40 seconds here. Once Stonebank shows bottom as well, I don't know if they have enough damage now to finish off the TA mid, even though they might try for it.
Alright, Soul Catcher's there. The disruption will follow. Luki's trying to get the angle on the back, but the defensive snowball comes into play. They're just going to surge their way forward. Raise the one dropping low. Nice play from B9, but he's not going to be able to pull Kataro with him, so he will die on the other end. Ray Lisa should be going down as well, so Sonic Wave will drop him. Kataro, though, very nearly dead. Can he get out of the ring? Yes, he can, but the poison is actually still going to be enough to kill him, as Luki's actually the one to get the kill. Now he'll try and TP away, but he doesn't get out in time. Catyu, of all people, gets the kill. And now it's just the supports who are going to run for their lives, but Yarn is slowed up by that Shadow Strike. He's going to go for the high 5 before he dies. Realistically speaking, that's the only play he's got. That disruption is going to be useful, but it's only going to delay the death, not stop it. And now B9 will get cleaned up as well. Full 5-man wipe. They got Kataro, but at what cost here? It's another team fight loss. Only good news for them is because they dove so deep, there's not going to be any sort of push onto the towers immediately following that fight, as what? Leo Style takes a bit of a detour.
He wanted his boots to travel, you know. The shop's right there. It's a much easier walk for him, but man, who thought 15-minute Ag Shard was a good idea without all of them being tweaked down? Because now, I mean, Leo Style's Ags is just as broken as it was in the previous patch and feels honestly just as nice. Impossible for DogChamp to fight after the fact, and that's what it really feels like it comes down to. If Leo Style decides not to join the fight, DogChamp get a few kills here and there. They get maybe something back in return, but as soon as Leo Style comes, it's unfortunately just impossible for them to fight. And well, Frank
This would be a big
On him.
one. Leo Style, those coming in. He doesn't have his ult, but he is still able to dish out damage. Kim now blinks in for the Walrus Punch, and Yarn's going to get taken down. So, well, damage-wise, DogChamp may still be okay without him, but they've got a lot less lockdown, and that's going to be the issue. Leo Style's just going to jump in. Ray actually tried to channel out the Meteor Hammer while he was taking all that damage. He will be finished off. Kim will get traded out, so they do find a kill, but now Ray buying back. He doesn't have TP, though, so this is just going to be a walk out of his base, and while he's walking, Stonebank gets finished off. Blade 9 is going to get stunned up and killed, and now this buyback doesn't really do anything.
No, and Katara's on your base. You don't have Glyph. Yeah, they call it. I think it makes complete sense. Same stat line as the previous game. I think I saw 21-6 or something earlier on, and they get a little bit messy with some of their kills, but it really never was on anyone that would have mattered enough for them to win the game here. And I think DogChamp a bit out of their league here, and it would have been cool, you know, see them maybe take a game versus one of the best SA teams in the region and then force that 10-6 tie. But now Lava move in, they've secured their spot in the upper bracket.
Yeah, they handle business, right? They were massively favored coming into this series, and they don't mess around. They need these points. No, take no chances. Get our upper bracket. And Leo Style in particular, that was just masterful. That switch put him in the off lane. You can see it pay off. This is a 20, 0, and 10 stat line. I would like to remind everyone, this game went 21 minutes and 31 seconds, and he had 20 kills. That's just stupidly good.
Yeah, I think now, well, the high stakes match is among us. It's time for Thunder Awaken versus Four Zoomers, where a lot could change very quickly here. For Zoomers, they'd absolutely love to join the rest of the squads here, get that 11th win, feel secured, but that's also where, oh man, sweating if you're Hikori right now, because if Four Zoomers do have a stellar performance, they get the 2-0, then they're gone. They're immediately in lower bracket after what has felt like a 5 or 6 day stretch where really nobody could touch them. So we'll have to see now, because it's time.
It is indeed time. That matchup is going to be so important, especially considering on the Thunder Awaken side, you know, they don't have much reason to care about this result. They have locked down first place already, so maybe they're a little bit less motivated. Maybe Four Zoomers can get in there, and if they get that 2-0, as you said, all of a sudden, we get some interesting stuff. Hikori may get knocked out. If it's a 1-1 split, though, we have a 3-way tie, and then we get to explore the wonderful world of tiebreakers without tiebreaker matches. That's always the simplest thing. Just, hey, play games and see what happens. But according to the rulebook, that's not the way that we're going to be handling this. So if we have 3 teams at 10 and 6 at the end of this, then I think that goes a little beyond our pay grade, ET. That'll be up to the bigwigs at BTS to figure that one. But that is assuming we get to that situation at all, and that means we do have to move along to that 3rd series. Thunder Awaken versus Four Zoomers should be coming up in just a little bit here. We are ever so slightly ahead, so might need time to let the teams know, but we'll be stepping away for about 10 to 15 minutes here, and when we come back, final series of the day, final series of the group stage, perhaps last gasp for Zoomers, for Hikori, for Infamous, really everybody. So all eyes will be on this game. Be sure to stick around so you don't miss it. We'll be back in just a little bit.